Let's talk about the data science framework development project. Uh, this was a self-guided experience. I'm a really big fan of project-based learning, in which you take on a project to learn a subject. It's a more hands-on experience, and I believe that you learn more and faster doing this way than actually having someone just saying and you have just pay attention. So I decided to take on the Kaggle Spaceship Titanic classification problem because I wanted to learn a full data science workflow. Uh, and since this is a beginner's data set, I decided to go with this one first to actually learn and dig deeper into the contents. Uh, and since there's a lot of people in the competition, you can find learning sources and other notebooks that helps you to understand each step and in the workflow. So this is the reason I took on this project specifically. And also, you can measure yourself by submitting the score results. Um I plan to do 2 rounds during the competition, in which I first submitted my scores. It took me about 3 months to actually uh, created a notebook, learn the data, learn the steps. At first was simpler. I did not go that deep. I just want to see how my basic knowledge was graded. And the second submission after going through the steps took about a month. So the improvement was quite significant. I believe I did a good job in learning how to deal with a data science project. So I end up came up with this framework, um, in which we start with the project initialization, where I set up goals and objectives for the problem. This is a critical step in the project, I believe, because this is where you understand exactly what you need to do. And if you this steps uh, misleading or done poorly, the metrics and the problem will be the results of the project will not be good. So this is a critical step. Um, After that, data gathering. In this case, the data was already collected, but I know from experience from my business intelligence years that this is also time consuming to find exactly where the data is and how it is, what type of data it is, how to store the data. So this I was already familiar with. Um, I needed to learn a little bit about split the training and test data sets and data sampling. But when you have the data, that is easier. This was a fun step, the exploratory data analysis, to actually look into the data, understand its characteristics, and the research. I really like the research step. It's like a detective work where you go through the data and learn its relationships and stuff. And uh, this was also fun to do it. Um, like finding ways to plot the data to make it uh, more comprehensible. So I really like doing this step and learning about it. Um, the data and cleaning processing. In this case of this competition, there was a lot of missing data, so it was time consuming, and I ended up learning about different methods to actually deal with missing data, which was a pretty good experience as well. Um, as you go through the process, the feature engineering uh, is trying to like understand what are the most relevant and important features. Also dealing with the multicollinearity, which turned out to be uh, also a good learning experience, understanding what it is and how to deal with it. Um, Finally, as we get through the end, things start to get more exciting because you want to see the model develop, and feature selection is it was cool to learn about it as well. How to actually the feature selection was like, okay, now I have the rock, and you start to shape it into a statue, so it starts to look like something more feasible. And then I end up uh, going deeper into dimensionality reduction techniques. Became a big fan of PCA. I really like this step as well. Um, and finally, as you get to the model, you start to see the results of the other steps. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And in the end, you end up realizing that the model and the algos you use, the hyperparameter tuning, is just the tip of the iceberg, and the most of the work is on the other steps. And it was fun doing it. I really liked doing it and seeing the results in the competition after that. It's well, it was gratifying doing it. I also provided the link to the notebook at Kaggle, where you can see my steps, how did I conduct the data analysis, and everything that I did is here. Uh, like here's to check the missing values. And one thing I did that I could have cheated on it, like uh, for filling missing values, I end up on the second round developing a pipeline so there was no look ahead bias, which you could fill the data of your sample and your train and test uh, values, but I choose to go with a pipeline so that the model um, did not have look ahead bias. And I know that if I did that, the results would be better, probably. But I knew that was cheating, so I didn't do it. Um, this was a cool analysis to do, a bivariate analysis, trying to find the pairs that have bigger accuracy. And this is something that I end up find some other relationships between data. So it was fun doing it. I believe that the results were quite good for the experience I took. Later on, when I started with working with quant finance, I realized that the real problems are much harder, and the data is there are a lot more problems with the data. And in finance, there's a lot of noise in the data. So in the end, uh, it was good to use a known data set to actually start learning from it, because you have more control over the results. But in the end, after working with some real problems, you can see that it's harder. And well, this is just an idea to show how I created this this workflow to learn about data science. I took some courses later on, and anyway, it was fun doing it and learning about it and use it later on in real life. So hope you enjoy my presentation here. See you soon.